Joining me from the Milken Institute Global Conference, Jean Case, CEO of the Case Foundation. So nice to see you.
Thanks, Rhonda. It's great to be with you.
You are here talking about impact investing.
We are.
And this is something you've been passionate about. It's been about a year or so, which you and your husband made a very large commitment to impact investing. Where are we now in terms of companies coming forward with products for investors to look at?
Sure, it's really exciting times, and in fact we've been invested in impact investments together as a couple for a number of years, but in the last year we've seen unbelievable acceleration and momentum in the sector. We've seen big finance move into the space with some recent announcements. Bain Capital, BlackRock, the largest asset manager, said they'll get into impact investing as well. In June, we issued a policy report. I sat on an advisory board for the G8 on impact investing, and when we released the report at the White House, we announced $2 billion in new impact investing commitments. We've seen some real investment leaders move off of the sidelines. Mark Andreessen, Bill Gates, Mark Benioff, a lot of leaders. Vinod Khosla has been at this for quite some time. So it's been a big year in terms of traction and getting some momentum.
Why have we seen some mainstream investors a little hesitant in terms of impact investing? Is it the vehicles weren't there? Or is it the concern that they're not going to get the financial return that they can with other products?
Yeah, so it's funny, because impact investing is very much in the early days, and I would say the ecosystem hasn't fully sorted itself out. So some investors are just confused. What is it? Or they're just simply not knowledgeable about what exists out there. So we think there is good deal flow out there. We think there are great investable deals. We think there's a variety of things, from investments that would be concessionary to market rate and beyond, and in fact we presented a lot of that out here at Milken. So I think investors just need to be brought along. It's very, very early days. I wrote a piece yesterday that was in Forbes that said, we've been in spring training and now I think we're in the first inning. So in movements we've been a part of in the past, you do have these early days where people are more comfortable on the sidelines, waiting until they can get to a point where there's data and there's models to show them how to jump in.
Do you think we'll get to a point where we actually see public companies try to attract impact investing money by perhaps increasing their own social programs so that it's a way for investors to view a company differently?
Sure. Well, you and I were talking before, and we spend a lot of time with the next generation, and they're really demanding companies, think about social benefit as part of what they do. And if you look at companies like GE, for instance, with what they did in their Head Health Challenge, they could have peeled that off and made that a division, perhaps, that people could have come in and invested in. We see Tide move to the same practices that Method uses, which is an impact investing company that's sustainable around detergents. So what we're seeing is the early days of almost the big companies being affected by the great stuff that these young impact investing companies are doing.
And how do you measure the success of impact investing?
So we say for it to be an impact investment, there has to be clear intention, measurement, and transparency. And all stakeholders have to be on the same page. The company is very clear about what it's doing. The investors are buying into that DNA, to that mission. And so when we talk about measuring, it really is almost a compact that the company and the investor has together around what are we doing and what are we expecting in terms of returns.
What are we seeing from the tech sector in terms of impact investing?
Well, obviously, technology is an empowering tool, and we see this play out probably no better than in ed tech, where we see a whole new generation of entrepreneurs coming forward. Many of them, by the way, former teachers in the education sector who just saw problems, and now, like entrepreneurs do, say, you know what, I have a better way to teach students, to help them learn, to address challenges in the classroom. And many, many ed tech startups that we're seeing are based off of technology, basically using technology as an empowering tool.
Jean Case, very nice to talk to you here.
Thank you, Rhonda.